With John Jones' 10 straight wins in the division, there was always a need for new challengers to his title. UFC 172's co-main event will feature two such competitors. San Diego-based Phil Davis has been a mainstay of the division for the past 4 years, but still seeks that signature win, which would propel him into a long-awaited title shot.
Other than an impressive set of lats that he brings to the cage, I think Phil Davis's best attribute is certainly his wrestling. I mean, this was a 4-time All-American wrestler at Penn State.
While I was in college, I was a 2-time Big Ten champion, 2-time national finalist, and a 4-time All-American, and 2008 national champion. Everybody know what we're doing? All right, 1, 2, 3. I ran wrestling class today. I'm just going over a couple of things that I know the team needs to work on. Step around, lift. You gotta add some reward and some punishment within practice. You need to give guys a real world sense of urgency, a sense of, I will lose something if I don't take the man to the mat. He does 10 push-ups. I will win something if I stand on my feet. As soon as his hand touches the mat, I win. Go. Break his grip. That's all you gotta do. Nice. If we want to be the best in the world, we have to work as a team to get there. It's not a group of individuals here. You know, I invest in their training, helping them. When my training camp comes around, they're investing in me, helping me be the best in the world. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lights!
Now, Mr. Wonderful Davis!
Phil Davis is able to use his athletic ability and his wrestling to take the fight where he wants it to be.
His jiu-jitsu is impressive as well, especially from top position. So it's not about just taking you down and staying on top and letting the clock run out. It's about taking you down, getting on top of you, and looking for opportunities to finish the fight.
He's got an anaconda. 10 seconds. He rolls into it. Wow, he might get it. I got this all over! Phil Davis!
The fact that Phil Davis beat Alexander Gustafsson should tell you all you need to know. He can beat anybody on the planet.
Got the whole building singing along as Lyoto Machida makes his way to the octagon.
Going on the road is always a tough proposition, but going on the road in front of that crowd in Brazil against a Brazilian is always extremely dangerous.
Lyoto Machida is not someone that you go in and you dominate. He's not somebody that's easy to fight against, no matter what style you're bringing to the cage. And so this was a very technical affair.
At the time he was the #1 contender, it was a huge opportunity for me.
Machida, he's got the highest takedown defense average in light heavyweight history.
If you get a guy that's patient and willing to wait, you can outstrike him by staying outside, and then when he comes forward, take him down. And that's what happened.
Phil's got to use his time wisely and do some damage.
Good shots to the midsection.
You look at those takedowns, and I think that was what was most impressionable on the judges.
Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis!
I just keep moving up the ladder. There's only so many spots before you fight the champion.
I've always had weird strength. My granddad used to tell me how strong I was. When I was little, we were putting together a wagon. He told me to tighten up a screw one time, a bolt. So I was just tightening and tightening it and tightening it, and it just broke in half. It was like I'd never seen anybody break a bolt in half from tightening so tight. Every time I swing, every time I punch, everything that I do, it has bad intentions behind it.
Oh, goes down! Anthony Johnson with the knockout!
Anthony Johnson's first run in the UFC was really impressive.
Big combinations early by Reiner. Reiner's hurt, and he's down, and it is all over!
Anybody they put in there, you could see it in their eyes. They were afraid of what Anthony Johnson was going to do to him.
Anthony Johnson, a fighter that used to fight at 170 pounds, if you stand next to this man, you have no concept of how he ever made 170 pounds.
That's it. He goes down. That's it. Oh, it is all over. Wow.
When you talk about Anthony Johnson's first UFC run, you can't overlook the fact that this guy struggled extremely with his weight and just could not make that welterweight cut.
177.5.
177.5.
That battle for him, making weight, was tougher than the opponents he was facing in the octagon sometimes.
176 for Anthony.
At the time, I just wanted to fight 170 because I felt like I was bigger, faster, stronger than anybody in the weight class.
The thing about Anthony Johnson's weight problems was codified in the Vitor Belfort fight. They're going to fight at middleweight. This is a guy that had been fighting at 170 pounds. Now they're going up to 185, and he comes in at almost 200 pounds.
97. 197. He has failed to make the 185-pound limit.
And I think at that point, everyone knew that this guy just cannot continue fighting here.
You know, the UFC dropped me. I was like, what do I do now? All I know is, you know, fight for the UFC. I had to get some sense in my head that, hey, I can't keep doing this to myself. I'm ruining my career. I was just stubborn. I was so immature. You know, I hadn't grew as a person. I just should have been fighting at a higher weight class sooner than what I am now.
He had to go back to the regional scene, go back to the smaller organizations and try to fight his way back up to UFC level. He did exactly that.
Now he's settled at 205 pounds.
205 is a great spot for Anthony Johnson to be at.
Anthony Johnson was so impressive in his UFC sabbatical. 6 straight fights, all victories.
He's a rare case of someone that left the UFC and comes in with more momentum than when he left.
This should be a fight that really does make people take note of Anthony Johnson once again.